There we go. What's
What's
going
up?
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, man?
Man, I seen your guys' page and all that. I liked what you guys were bringing to your platform and all that. And the awareness and, the ups and downs for everybody. It goes for both boys and females. So I just felt like reaching out and seeing what I
Thank
could add to that
thank you
Okay.
for
from
We
for
my from
coming
appreciate
my
on.
that.
own personal experience.
We appreciate that. Well, okay, well, let's hop into it. Can you tell everybody your name?
Shawnee.
Shawnee?
Shawnee. Yep.
Shawnee?
Honey,
Oh, where you from?
From Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm way in Canada.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
how many kids do you have, Shawnee?
Three, two. Going through the court process for right now.
How many women? How many different women?
Two.
Okay, so the two that you're going through the process for now, are they by the same woman?
Yeah.
Okay, and what are their ages, the children?
11 and 8. No, 11 and 7.
Boy or girl?
Boy and girl.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we get started into the whole process of what you've been going through, kind of give us a backstory of you guys. Was it a relationship, situationship? Were you married? One night stand? What was the case with that?
We're in a relationship. We got two kids together, right? So
I mean,
Well,
that
that don't
don't
mean
mean
yeah,
nothing.
anything.
so
We done heard
we're
some
in a
crazy
relationship.
stories.
We're in a relationship. I
For
don't
how
know.
long?
It's like a pitfall, but yeah, I went into custody. Did 18 months. I never harmed my children or nothing. Judges even pointed that out, like he's not a harm to children and all that. Come
No,
out
wait. Before you go there, how long were you guys in a relationship for?
about 4 or 5 years.
Who ended it?
I think it was mutual. When when you're calling from jail and ain't nobody picking up or all these excuses, and I just put two and two
Oh,
together. I'm
you
like,
you were incarcerated.
Yeah.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
incarcerated,
For
so I was
18
like, you know
months.
what?
Oh, for 18 months. Okay,
Yeah, so
and that's when everything started to change.
started to change kind of before that too, but the jail
That was just
calls
the
that
icing on the cake.
it was the icing on the cake. It was her friends picking up her phone and all this stuff. Oh, she's not here. She's at Walmart. I'm like, looking at the time. I'm like, it's 9 in the morning. Walmart's just opening up. Why you first one in the door? And I just put two and two together, and I just left it alone.
Now, was it a guarantee that you was going to get out after the 18 months, or it was something that you had to fight?
I was being held for pretrial custody, so it was in a different province. I was in Ontario and stuff. So the bail thing was like different from if I lived there. I probably would have got out, but they were like, "Oh, he's at flight risk. He's not even from here, so we're just gonna hold him till trial." So it took 18 months, 16 months for trial, and then they held me for another 2 months for a decision.
Okay,
Okay.
so I know that had to be tough to go through. On top of that, but while you were incarcerated, were you able or allowed to talk to the children while you were there?
Yep.
Okay, so you pretty much wasn't expecting this to take this turn where we are now.
Yeah.
So kind of walk us through that. You get out, and how did the
Get
custody
out.
issue started?
I see my kids and all that. Uh, Trying to get on my feet, get a place. They're coming over. Both my son and my daughter. But let me step back a little bit here. While I'm in custody, I'm absent. She gave birth to my daughter while I was in custody.
Okay.
Okay,
You know what I
okay,
mean? So I'm asking for pictures. Like I already know what my son looks like, but I'm asking for pictures from of my daughter. And out of that, I would say 16 months that I did, she kept saying she forgot. She kept forgetting. She kept saying she forgot. So that was just something on my mind there. Like that
Do me
just
a favor. Can you try to keep the camera still first?
okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was just something that just dawned on my mind. I was like, why no pictures and stuff? But yeah, we got out. I got out, and Yeah, I was involved with my kids. I was taking her
So
to get
so
groceries.
did you have
Uh,
any doubt if the daughter was yours or not by her playing games like
after
that?
a while, I started doubting it. Like, was she mine? And this stuff. But my mom and all them guys, they went to the hospital. Uh, they seen her when she was first born and all that stuff because my mom was still down where we're originally from. But over time, it just gradually, it was one thing after another. Um, I think it was, what did she say? So we were fine at first. Everything's going through the motions, and then she hits me with my boyfriend doesn't want me to communicate with you. So that's when,
What?
yeah. So then that's when like the domino effect from that just started from there because then we weren't really communicating, and if we were communicating, I felt like she was only communicating with me if he wasn't around.
So did you know? Did she like have a conversation with you about her starting a date? Because of course, when women typically when they start to date, quite naturally that man will be around the kids possibly. So did you guys ever communicate about how you felt about that, or
No,
meeting the
like
guy or
from
whatever?
no, from what I know, like the guy, stand up guy, there's nothing wrong with him. It's just what you hear after that. Like I'm in custody. I don't know what's going on for the 16, 18 months that she's born.
Mm-hmm.
Like stories like oh they're all sleeping in the same bed together and all this stuff.
Oh
Like
nah.
I don't agree with that stuff. And then
So how
I
did you find out these things? Like who was telling you? Who's
I
reporting the
got I
facts?
got people through the grapevine. People see things, right? It ain't hard to pick and choose what you want to believe and not believe, right? And like I'm very good with that. But I asked her, did my daughter even have a bed? And it was more like, well, she does now. So she
Mm.
was sleeping
Yeah.
in bed
So
with you and your boyfriend.
so did she start dating him when she was still pregnant, or was this after the baby was born?
That's what's puzzling because I'm in custody. She's clearly running around. I'm I want to say kind of after.
How old was you? How old was you guys?
I was 24. She was 21 or 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you already had your son, and now
Yeah.
this is the second child. And so basically, this man, this new boyfriend, is around both kids.
Yeah.
What did your son? Was he like sleeping in the bed with them too?
No, I bought my son a bed and all that stuff
Before,
before I,
okay, before the
yeah.
other baby was born. Okay,
So,
understood.
and
All
my
right. So
son,
to just backtrack a little bit, did you ever get a DNA test?
she won't let me.
Oh no.
She won't
So
let
are
me.
you even like you're not are you legitimate with the second baby? Are you because you couldn't be on a birth certificate because you were incarcerated?
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. What I found out from somebody while I was in custody, I was like, man, like I ain't seen a picture of my daughter and all this stuff. And they're like, oh no, the kid belongs to you, and I'm like, how do you know? And they said they did a DNA test. The kid's not his. So I was like, why would she do a DNA test?
To rule somebody out if you were the only potential father.
That's what I'm thinking. But then when I'm thinking, you got to put
What?
your intuition. You're like,
What?
was she cheating on me?
Yeah. Is he the only one?
Like,
Right.
was there something going on that I don't know? And that's what I still don't know. It's never. I will probably never know. Like, why? If you must have been cheating on me when you said you were going to work and you were taking forever to come back with your suit on from work, you would have
I
had to been
mean,
cheating on me.
you've seen your daughter now. Of course, this was years ago. So how do you feel about her? Does she look like you now? Are you still kind of
She looks like my other daughter that I have now. They look identical.
okay?
Um, it's just at some points when she would turn her face and stuff. One time my heart sunk. I was like, oh my god, is this kid even
This
mine?
is not like okay.
I'm being serious.
And
Like
Hey,
so wait, this is what I want to say because a lot of times, people don't understand that, we're still human. We're going to approach these situations as such. And so in the future if your baby, had to see this. I mean, this is the truth. Like, it's not to be
I
mean or
I'm
to,
fighting for them to come back, and God knows what their mother told them. Like, did I abandon them? He doesn't want to see you. No, I'm gonna
yeah,
tell them straight up.
yeah,
This is what it was.
Mhm.
yeah.
And we're
No,
still getting there.
okay,
So
yeah, no, we definitely understand, but we always have to just put it out there because a lot of people like to say that this isn't really a good idea because the kids could be watching or could see this later. But typically in our situations, that's what we want because we
you
want the
want to,
truth to be
at the
told.
end of the day, you want to put the evidence out there. You don't know
Exactly.
what those kids are
Yeah,
thinking, right?
yeah, because in these type of situations, a lot of people do a lot of stuff under the table, and they never do stuff where the world can see it.
Right. It's
It's
always
Yeah.
all
indirect
or a whole bunch of lies.
lies
Yeah.
behind the
So
scenes.
this is the
No.
reason why we started this. Is we giving people a voice to tell their side of the story? Because
I
I
always
know you're
you
going
always
through the
think
rings.
for me, you always think 2 steps ahead. And one of the reasons why I went to court in the first place is, yeah, I have a record and like they could throw that in my face. I know there's a possibility that I can lose. But if my son, for an example, ever comes back to me 16, 17 years old, like, Dad, what happened? I can go down to the court and get all those pieces of paper. I can ask them to print off the
Yes, you.
transcript and show
Yep.
them.
Yep.
Boy, I was fighting for you.
Yes.
Your
Mm-hmm.
mother was the one not letting me see you.
This
That's
is
where
what
I
we tell
that's where I
people all
cover
the
my
time.
ass. That's where I cover my ass. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is what we preach all the time, and that's a valid point. I mean, the receipts are there. This stuff is public record. It's facts. It's not
Yeah.
it's not made up. It's not something that you can fabricate in the future. This is what's happening in real time, and it will show your side of things. And
Yeah.
so, before we move forward, take us to what really was the step that made you just say, okay, I got to go to court, and how was that? Because like you said, you didn't care if they were going to try to use your past against you.
Yeah. You said
Yeah.
you was getting them. They was coming over.
Yeah.
So
So it started gradually becoming, I have to call 2 days in advance. We got to make a schedule. So, okay, I was fine with that. So I was taking my son to the school year from Friday to Sunday. That was every week. But with my daughter, now, this is where it gets messed up. She wanted me to take my daughter once every 2 weeks from the weekend. So it doesn't make sense.
so she tried to split them up.
No, they would come. One son was coming every weekend,
Okay.
but his sister would only come every second weekend.
And how old was she at the time?
She was 4, ongoing to 7, which is now.
Oh nah.
So
So she's
it
like,
doesn't make sense that siblings. Like, if one kid is coming, why wouldn't you send the other child at the same time? Every time.
remember we talked about the DNA test?
Mm-hmm.
She told him it was his kid. She knew damn well it wasn't.
Oh
So
my
she was splitting the
God.
time up, like letting her go with
She
you
was splitting the
on
Oh
time.
this
my
She was
weekend and you
splitting
God.
the
on that.
time up with. That's what she was doing. So
Why
I go
would
to
she
the
do
court
that to
now.
her baby? Why would she do that to
So
y'all?
she was calling two men's daddy,
She calls 2 men daddy.
Oh my
still
God.
And
to
this
this
is
day.
after a while. We're driving her home one day. Me and my girlfriend. We're driving her home. She's like, "Daddy, I got something to tell you." I look back. I'm like, "What you got to tell me?" She's like, "I got a new daddy." I'm like, I just look at her. I didn't say nothing. Didn't put 2 and 2 together at the time. And then next thing I know, they're like friends and family and outsiders that just know me. They're like, "This has been going on. Shawnee, did you not know this has been going on since you were in jail? This man been claiming your daughter behind closed doors. I'd see him. I'd see the back of his head. Because every time he see me out in public, just take off. Right? And I never put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, you know what? It's because he knows he's wrong.
Yeah, because it's guilt there. Like, what is no beef? It's not like, unless now this is what I'm thinking, and I don't know if this is true, and I know that this is speculation, but if they did all of these things and took DNA tests and all that, it's kind of given that she was dealing with him at the same time.
That
Yes.
And that
doesn't
it
doesn't
just
take
so
rock. It's not
happens
rocket
that the
science.
baby is yours and not his.
I think she knew it
But
was
they
mine
wanted
because
it
I
to be
named her.
his. That's what I think.
I named her. So I gave her the name Nadalia. Nadalia is her first name. Now with him, her middle name's Jade Valentina. I don't know where the Jade comes from. People speculated, hey, I think that comes from his side. She had to fit both of our names
in the baby's name.
with the baby's name.
So let me ask you this: do you question your son now?
About, like, if he's my son?
Yes.
That little boy's mine.
Okay.
I never question him. Never question that. He's
Did
mine.
you ever get a DNA on him?
No, I didn't need to. And I would. I mean, there
So
would be
with the
no.
court
There would be.
process, they didn't.
I was with him since birth. I was with her throughout her pregnancy for that. So
yeah, you have no reason to
Yeah.
Doubt that time frame.
yeah.
But as far as now, and even before then, just starting the court proceedings, why didn't you petition the court for a paternity test?
This is where Nova Scotia or Canada, I don't know how it is in America, completely different. So I did.
Okay.
I said, I want to do a DNA test. But beforehand, her mother was talking to me. She's like, I'm like, you know what? I don't know what you guys are hiding down there, but I'm going to do a DNA test. And I'm going to put it in your face when it comes back that it's mine. She fought tooth and nail to not do the DNA test with me because of that. So all she had to do is go to the court. When I'm saying, hey, I want a DNA test, all she had to say was, he don't need a DNA test because it's his child. But if the court doesn't recognize is if she's saying I don't need a test and that it's my child, then why did she go and do a test with somebody else? It was all to get that man.
Exactly.
And
It
you
doesn't make sense.
and you proved this in court?
No, they said they didn't believe me.
Like, how do a court deny a DNA test? That is crazy.
So,
They
so if you
denied me.
weren't even there, like you're not the legal father because you couldn't be on like the birth record, right? Or
Yeah.
anything because you weren't there.
Yeah.
So how is she? Okay, so take us to how are you fighting for a kid that's not legitimized? It's not legally your daughter, you know?
Yeah. So that was with my lawyer. I said, man, listen, you know the charges, this and that. He's like, you're acquitted of everything. So he's like, she got dirt on her, you got dirt on you. So at the end of the day, what can they really say? So when I got out of custody, I'll backtrack just a little bit.
For a second, you got to turn the TV off because they'll flag the live as anything.
Shut that off, please.
Yeah.
Turn it down. Yeah.
Let's see.
Thank you.
So where were we?
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Talk about the process of the.
So I knew she was gonna say like he's a criminal, he's running around, he's in the streets. He doesn't do anything for the kids. Right? But when I got out of custody, I started saving all the receipts. So receipts from everything I bought them. When I tallied it up one night, I was just in my mind, tallied it up. It was over $10,000 worth of stuff within a span of 3 years, right?
Okay.
But her testimony is he never did nothing for the kids. He doesn't do nothing. I proved that she's lying.
Right.
Her lawyer and her try to fight to get the receipts excluded.
Because here in the States, they would say that those are gifts.
Yeah.
Even if you're the dad, right? So I don't know that they acknowledge the receipts that you had.
Clothes, it's food, it's everything. It's everything that they got on their back. It's not gifts.
I mean, that's just what they call it.
So in Canada, did they acknowledge your receipts? Did they let you use it?
They let me use it, but they didn't acknowledge it. It's pretty much
crazy.
said I did it. They
just
said,
to backtrack, she fought for them to not do the DNA test, and they not letting you use the receipts of all the stuff that you done for the kids.
Yep.
So she doesn't want you in their lives at all at this point.
It's not that she don't want me in their lives. She doesn't want me in her life because she's doing all this for a man.
So
He
he's
needs
controlling
she needs to
everything.
make him happy. So pretty much that's his daughter. He says what
No, no.
what
What she
goes.
can do is just give you your kids, and they can start their own damn family.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Because at
like
the end of the day, the children should not be stripped of their father just because she's dating somebody new.
And how
well
does he do? How do he even have that control like that? That is crazy.
you'd be surprised.
Can they not make their own child together?
They did. Well, they just recently did. They
Okay.
just recently did, but he's
Who you
still
got on the inside? You got somebody on the inside. You finding out all the information.
no. Everyone people post right. It's all
Yeah,
Yeah.
social
small
media.
small
Yeah.
town down here, right? So you can
Oh,
see
okay.
she just made like a kid not last December or something like that. So it's not.
Okay. So and nothing has changed. Like
We went
there's
for a variation, June 26th. This
what's
is
the
where
variation since the times are different in
well,
Canada? What's that?
mediation after the trial to try to
Okay,
see if
so it's
she
like a
changed her mind.
mediation. Okay, it's called a mediation.
And she kind of slipped up. She's like, well, I don't want him to see the kids, but his oldest son been asking for him.
So
She
wait,
told that. Said
is
that
she
in the
telling the
mediation.
courts? Because this is the thing: when you petition the court, okay, a man is fighting for his children. A woman will say all these bad things, like you said she tried to do. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't feel they're safe. I don't think they're in a good environment. I don't think this and that. They can't just say I don't want to see the kids. They have to have a good reason.
It got to be a
It
yeah.
can't even
She
be
said
because my new man said that we don't want them. You know what I'm saying? So, what is her? I don't see a basis yet.
it's the man is telling her, hey,
No,
this
I'm
is my
saying to the
my
court.
daughter,
Like, what is
not
she
his.
what's her testimony to the courts why she don't want you in their life?
She'll say that my household is not safe, but in all the same sense, her mom's house is the one that got shot up. You get what I'm saying? So how's my house not safe? How's my mom's house not safe? Our house has never got shot up, but your mom's house did. I think on two different occasions. They're
Oh
still allowed
man,
to go. They're still allowed to go there.
man, that's crazy, man.
So, how long has it been since you seen the kids?
I seen them in May of this year because they put me on supervised visits. So this is why I'm still going back to court. So we said
Okay.
11 weeks, 11 or 12 weeks. We
So
finished the
you
week
didn't. So you didn't have no visitations before the supervised.
before the supervised visits. It's like it's some type of look like a foster or orphan home. I didn't even want them there because they're asking why can't we go to your house? And I'm like, we just got to do this first.
So,
So
is that because of your past? Is it because of the
because
criminal record?
she was able to sell it at my house, and I'm not fit to be around my children.
And
But
how long did it take for you to before you start fighting?
I fought in 2021. I just got them this year, so 2024 unsupervised. But this is where it gets messed up.
Okay.
So I had to do an appeal last October and stuff because I lost the case, which means like they had this decision. The judge was like, okay, we're gonna put him on supervised, but he only did 12 weeks. After 12 weeks, I was done. It's supposed to be a ladder rule, right? So now, okay,
Mm-hmm.
now you can start taking them once every Wednesday,
Yeah.
Right.
twice a week now. Okay, now you got weekends. The judge just left it at 12 weeks visitation, nothing else. So you read to introduce me back into my kids' lives, and then you took it away
Took me
again.
back away. Exactly. It
It
makes
doesn't
no
make
sense.
sense.
At
So he
all.
erred in that. So that's why I did the appeal. Second of all, it
That
said,
was smart.
yeah. Second of all, you said my girlfriend, well, she wasn't a suitable supervisor for me, but he failed to recognize that we have a daughter here living with us.
Mm.
Right.
We have a daughter
And
here.
which is their sibling. All of that matters for the family dynamic. It's
She
healthy for the
has
kids.
she has her own separate son with somebody else. They have some type of agreement. I don't interfere with their business. It has nothing to do with me. 3 days on, 2 days on, 2 days on, 3 days off. That's what
Right.
they're doing. She sees me fighting for my kids. So
So
now
how is that relationship? Is it as far as that? Is she's a good support, or do she just leave it up to you?
she's a good support. She's seen some pretty rough days and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely.
but with her side, with her son's side of the family, they come to me open arms. Like, hey, how's it going? I drop him off to them, pick them up. They don't have no problem with me. All the problems stemming from her, from our past.
Which is weird because um if she doesn't want you anymore, like, and we say this all the time, like, bitter women typically want to still be in a relationship with the father or want to control the situation or whatever it may be, right? And they weaponize the kids. This case is different. You
She's
have,
weaponizing.
yeah, no, yeah, but I'm saying, like,
She weapon. Oh, where you go? His phone probably rang or something. We gonna wait for him to come back.
yeah, but
Yeah,
like I was saying, it's different for the simple fact that she's with somebody else. And so how often do you see that there's a new person involved and you are still acting in a way that you don't want, like you just want to replace the dad altogether? And so it's usually like this with the man when he gets a new person, and then they want to think the stepmom wants to replace them, and they may be bitter behind that. But how do you get bitter behind having a new love interest or whatever, and then you want him to step up and just be the dad to the kids and want to remove their biological father altogether? Like, it's baffling to me. It really is. Like, it makes no sense at all.
none at all. Hold on, y'all. He's trying to get back in. But yeah, you right. You absolutely right. Right about that. Um, these these women.
And the stories, they really get a little, and like, it changes every time we talk to somebody. Like, you think that this stuff is a one size fit all. It isn't. Everybody has a different story to tell, and it's just, you think you've heard these things and you're familiar with stuff, but we haven't spoke to anybody who had this particular situation where their kid's mom has somebody else and she's just making them call the other person dad and acting like, like, it's just, I don't understand it. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't get it.
Here you go. All right.
In there.
Oh yeah. We back. All right. But yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying that typically when we talk to dads and women are bitter, right? They may want to still be with that father, but she basically moved on, started a whole new life with another man. It should be no problems. Like, give me my children. We'll raise them. We'll co-parent effectively. You have who you with. I'm with somebody new. We both have other children that are siblings to our kids. What is the problem? Like, what is the beef? What's the problem?
I really can't even answer that. I don't know that. She got her mom involved. I don't speak to her mother. Her mother doesn't speak to my mother anymore. Uh, and just as of late, my lawyer called me. He's like, "Hey, I got good news for you." And I'm like, "What's going on?" It's like, "Well, she's on the court docket." So, because he's a criminal lawyer as well. So I'm
Okay.
like, "For what?" He's like, she committed a domestic assault against her
The
now,
other,
the guy that she was with.
go figure. We didn't see that
Broke
coming, right?
broke his car up. But hey, when I told the courts, hey, I had to call my mother and all these people that she was doing the things to me. We don't believe you.
Right. Now it's a pattern.
Yep.
And who's the common denominator?
Yep.
Okay.
So
So go ahead.
I think an appeal and all that stuff works in my favor now that she did that.
Absolutely.
Her mom was lying. We got that she lied on multiple. Like their stories matched. Why are your story matching your daughter's if you're not rehearsing what your guys are going to say? It's not supposed to match. My mom's never matched mine, so we caught them. We caught her lying anyways and making up stuff and all this stuff and no proof. But I showed text messages. I showed receipts. Showed that I was dropping the kids off when they weren't comfortable, and the judge just, I don't know, didn't like my demeanor. Didn't like that I came in plain clothes. I've been to court where you can go dressed up all you want. Doesn't mean you're gonna get the outcome you want. So I went in plain clothes.
You know, it's clear that the judge was biased. Typically, they are when a father has a criminal record or background. It's fathers that come in squeaky clean, they still get
Yep.
unfair treatment, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
So we know that the court system, even not just here in the States, but all over the world, this is a global problem. This is a global fight that men face. We have people, reaching out to us all from the UK and Europe and just all over the place saying that they're going through the same thing. And so the fact that these laws are very much so different, they're very similar to the fact that they favor women. They but
Favor women. They favor maybe some white men too.
yeah, yeah,
I've seen
we've
white
seen
men. I
that
know
too.
white men. They go in there. They get 50-50. How do you guys get 50-50? You didn't see your kid for 3 years either.
So let me ask you this. Let's see here. With your girlfriend or whatever,
Yeah,
or is your wife girlfriend?
girlfriend.
Okay. Was there any attacks with the mother of your kids against your girlfriend? Have ever been any drama there?
No, they say they like her.
Mm,
She picked my kids up sometimes because I was at work or I couldn't make it, so she'd go pick them up for me.
okay.
What was
There's
her
no.
take on it? Like what how did she want you to proceed? Just to, I know she probably tried to compromise and mediate sometimes, even picking the kids up and stuff to keep it peaceful. What was some of her advice and tips with this process, even though it wasn't probably going to work?
She couldn't really give advice because she said she's not like that. She wouldn't withhold her son from his father, so she couldn't really understand, I guess.
Yeah, she probably just wanted it to be peaceful, as many
Yeah,
other partners come in this chaos, and this is part of their lives. They didn't really
yeah,
ask for that. So yeah, I understand her take.
So
yeah.
let me rewind just a little bit. You said that your girlfriend seen you at your worst times, right?
Yeah.
So what was that like for you? Not being able to see your kids. Take us back to what is parental alienation to you? Like what
How
was
did that feel?
how did that feel?
Well, I had that done to me, right? And man, it is touchy, but I had that done to me, and my father, I'd say now he never wanted me, but I always looked for my father. I was his first son, right? So I would
So
always
do
look
you
for my
know do you know what parental alienation is?
yeah. When you can alienate another parent seeing their kids.
So you were deliberately kept from your dad.
My dad just didn't want to see me.
So he was
So he was pretty much a deadbeat.
Deadbeat, but I would go to my grandma's. My grandma would still let me come over. His mother, and I'd go there like in hopes to see him and stuff.
So
And like
you're saying what happened to you, just separation from your father, not parental alienation. Because if your
no,
mom
no,
wasn't alienating you, then
no.
you weren't an
But
alienated
in a
child.
sense, he's alienating me, right? Like
yeah,
he's
see, it's a difference between alienating
And
and
parental
parental
alienation.
alienation.
parental, yes,
Yeah,
Yeah,
he pretty much walked out and
yeah.
yeah,
decided he didn't want to, be a father.
yeah,
But those
That's not alienation.
yeah.
That's
yeah.
just him being a deadbeat.
Okay,
And
But
yeah,
but those feelings are still the same
valid.
for the
Right,
yeah,
kids.
exactly.
It's
yeah.
still valid. So you were saying that
So we
that
understand what
I'm
you
running
yeah.
through the dark with a flashlight looking for my father. You know what I mean? And
okay.
I know my attachment for my father was a lot of love there, and my son with the girl that she took him away from me, right? He's a daddy's boy. He cried when I take him home. He didn't want to go. I had to drag him out the car. Why won't you go home? He'd wet the bed there and stuff. He never wet the bed here. She'd ask me, well, why is he wetting the bed here? Because he's scared of you. He's scared to ask you, can I see my dad? Because you're probably beating him.
Trauma.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Trauma.
So to me, it's like I just sympathize with that a bit, and I'm like, like he's looking for his father, and that's what's eating me up.
So how did you deal with that on a daily basis?
Every day was different, man. There was days before my daughter that I have here, I'd be drunk, wouldn't come home for days, just trying to run away from my
Mm.
own, trying to run away from the issues. You know what I mean?
Escaping the
Like
pain.
looking
Yeah.
for this person to talk to, looking for this person to talk to. Go to one of my homeboys. Well, we got to grow up, right? I don't want to wait till he's 16. I don't want to wait till he's 17.
Yeah.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
missing his good years.
Yes, and you did the right thing. A lot of people, and I'm glad that you made that point, because when we talk to people that have experiences as such as us, and we remember those very dark days when it was just, you feel like you're just in this black room and you're screaming and nobody can hear you. And so when you're
That's what
trying
it
to
is.
explain to other people what it's like, they're coming up with all these logical reasons that aren't logical, right? Like, oh,
Yeah.
you do this and do that. But the reality is they just don't get it. They don't
Yeah.
understand. And so it really isolates you even more, to the point that you feel like, I don't even have anybody that can relate. I don't have anybody I can talk to.
Yeah.
Now you're really going through it alone. And so we just try to put it out there that it is ways that you can have coping mechanisms that are healthy to try to get you through it, because so many fathers aren't where you are in the process, or
Yeah.
where we are in the process. They're, unaliving themselves and just giving up. And so
And
being
like
transparent,
people,
thank you for that.
I've been there, like giving up, like not unaliving myself, but giving up. Like yeah, like this is hopeless. Like everybody's against me. Like you start getting a bad mind state. Like oh, if someone says something to me, I'm gonna do something to them. You know what I mean? Like it's just you get to the. From me, it's like okay, you get to the criminal court, you are found not guilty on all your stuff. You got a judge looking in your face. Hey, go be a member of society and do things the right way. Okay, I didn't fight with my baby mother. I didn't fight with her to get my kids. I didn't put my hands on her. I went to court the civil way. And you guys keep bringing up stuff that is dropped, that is dealt with. And
Irrelevant.
yeah, these judges could have put me away for life, but it's gone now. It's not guilty, but you're still asking me about it. So
Yeah, that's
I'm
crazy.
you am I not guilty? First you label me as guilty until proven innocent. Then when I'm found not guilty, you still hold that over my head, like, hey, well, you're still accused.
And then if you did decide to just say, the hell with all this, I don't care anymore, to walk out, then you're a deadbeat.
Yep,
Then you're a piece of shit. Then why didn't he come fight for his kids? But
yep.
this is why. This is
They
why.
make it
And
so
then
hard.
you got two different superior courts or supreme courts, whatever you call them. And I remember saying to myself, to the woman, to the woman, I said, you have one judge saying, hey, you're fit for society, you're not a harm to your children, but then you have me in this court, and you're victimizing me. You're making me look like the bad guy. I thought I fought the charges and that I'm not guilty anymore. Why are you contradicting two different courts? Which one? Like, are the courthouses not supposed to be on the same page?
They're not, and that's another harsh reality.
Yeah, they're not
That
on the same
yeah,
page.
they're not. They're not. It's two different. It's two different entities.
Yeah,
So how did you get out of that dark space?
daughter I got now.
Okay.
I gotta she's gravitating towards me more and more as she gets older, and like it's like shining the light in the room. I gotta
Hmm.
be me.
Yep.
I
Yep.
can't have those dark thoughts where I'm like, I'm gonna do this and then lose her. You know what I mean? That's
Yep.
just another dark spot that I don't want to, you know, come across at the moment. So I'm just hoping right now. Like my lawyer messaged me last week. Well, we got the variation option again, and because she got the charges now, and we still got the appeal option. I said, well, I'm
Okay.
gonna go. I want to do both.
Okay.
You should.
Let's switch gears just a little bit. So I want to go back to the parental alienation side of things. But far as the mother of your kids, like what were some of the tactics that she was doing to alienate your kid? Like what was she telling you? Like when she wasn't bringing them?
Well, she never brought them to me in the first place. I always had to go to them.
Okay.
But it was the 2 day, 2 days notice, and then
The
I messaged her.
inconsistent scheduling
Yeah,
on her terms, right?
yeah. And I don't know if I just. It was more if she just felt like picking up the phone, and then I just from there I knew it was coming because then I had to start. Then all my communication was strictly through her mother.
Which is weird. So did she
So
ever
her mother's
badmouth
back and
this?
forth between us, like, oh, he's gonna come for the kids this day. She's like, okay, and then she'd have the kids at her mother's, and I'd go there.
How are the kids?
They're good. They're
Like,
good
do you feel like
from
at
what I
any
know.
point? I know you say your son, you guys, your relationship with him was pretty much grounded. There's nothing you could tell him. Like, he
Yeah,
loved you, he knew you, but your daughter, she's the one that got the most alienation of it all because you weren't there
yeah.
when she was born and she was starting on her from the very beginning. And then all that with another man. Like, did you feel like what she did was working? Did you feel like she turned the kids against you, or did they just seem to just go along with what was happening?
After a while, I think my son, I think he just got tired because when we went to the supervised visits, he started talking about his pops. And I'm like, who's your pops? You talking about your granddad? And he's like, no, mommy's boyfriend. I'm like, that's not your pops. See, they used a different word there instead of dad because he knew that wasn't his dad. So he's like, he threw in the pops, right? He had a little
Yeah,
kid.
another
Threw in the pops,
manipulation
and I
tactic.
corrected them. You're not supposed to really correct them at the supervised visits, and I told him, like, you got one dad, and you don't ever call another man father or dad, pops, except me.
Exactly.
Okay.
Y'all hear this? Don't. I'm your dad.
Yeah,
I don't
Exactly.
care where we at.
yeah.
What?
And I don't think after that first time I said that, he came back and he called him by his real name and not pops and stuff. But
He understood.
So what about your daughter? What is like some of the tactics she used against her to
I don't think the girl has any control over much say over the daughter because he tells her that's his kid.
mm, that's
So like
tough.
when I'm telling
Did
the
the
court,
kids witness the domestic violence? Because
no, no.
okay.
Uh,
'Cause
when I'm telling the courts, like, hey, like she's giving me one kid but not the other, like, oh well, we don't believe you. But then we go to supervise. They write everything down. I see my son come in the door. Where's my daughter? I don't know if she had a brain cramp there that she forgot. Like, hey, they write everything down. I'm like, well, where's your sister? Uh, mommy's boyfriend said she didn't have to come today. She can go to the park with him.
are you
What? And
serious?
then they telling your son that is crazy. This
I'm like, but you
manipulation.
came today because you need. They see he forgot. I feel like a little bit until he started seeing me, and then he's like, oh, I'm going there to see my dad. We're gonna play video games and stuff. I'm not sitting at the park.
So, with all this that's going on, what would you do different if you could do it all over again?
Nothing.
Because
Show
you
me,
don't feel like
show
you did anything wrong in the first place,
no,
right?
show me who you really are. Because now you have charges on you abused your boyfriend. He called the police on you, and you now have a no contact order.
Against him.
He has no contact order against her because he's the
Oh,
one that called the police.
so the same guy that she was
That you
telling
that you did
that
all
was the
this for.
daddy of your kid. Well, actually, he was calling both of y'all daddy.
Yeah,
This is the same guy that got the no contact on her that destroyed your relationship with
yeah.
her included with your kids.
And potentially her career. She's supposed to be an RN now.
Wow.
You can't go work in no hospital with that.
Mm-mm.
Property damage and all that, breaking up people's cars. What are you gonna do that in the hospital? Poke somebody in the arm because they don't want to listen to you and stuff.
Right.
I don't, I don't know, but I could be
Right. We
spite.
don't
I could
need
be
that
I could
type
be
of.
Need
spiteful.
that in healthcare.
I could be spiteful and be like, hey, well, if you don't give me my kids, I'm gonna call Nova Scotia hospitals right now and tell them about your charges. I could be that guy, but I'm not. I'm humble. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, I'm gonna do this
Because
the
at the
way I've
end
been
of the
doing it.
day, at the end of the day, it's all about the kid.
It's all about the kids. I'm not gonna
So yeah,
jeopardize.
you don't want to feed into. You can't fight evil with evil, man.
No,
Like, cause especially if you're not willing to take it all the way there like them, you gotta understand they don't care about nothing.
Yeah.
You gonna always have a conscience because you caring about the kid and you caring
Mhm.
about your daughter, you caring
All she
about your
got to know is that I
girlfriend.
know. Don't think
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
now
yeah.
when we go back to court, yeah, it's going to get brought up. Yeah, we're going to be asked for a criminal record check on you this time. And it's going to be
So
I
confusing.
don't even understand why they still asking it about you if you was found not guilty. Do you mind saying what you went to jail for?
I don't even want to talk about that.
I
I don't even
understand.
want to talk about that. You know, it's a dark thing. I tucked that
that's
away.
behind you anyway. It's okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. You was found not guilty.
But
That's
other
what
than that, I haven't had a charge since 2013, I think. 10 years. I was over 10 years ago.
yeah, you was young, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
That's
was
irrelevant.
a child, right?
So what's the end game for you? Like, what if you could make it all perfect? What would that look like?
Just show my kids that I'm a different person from when they last see me, from when they were seeing me to now. And
Mhm.
you know, the Bible says, "Forgive your accusers, forgive those who've done you wrong, and all that." You're forgiven. You're forgiven now. It's just we just still got to battle it out. That's the thing. You're
The
still forgiven.
kids.
You're
The
still
kids.
forgiven at the end of the day, but we're still gonna battle it out. I'm not finished yet. I'm not. I'm not gonna leave mine to
That's right.
wander. So,
Do you have an upcoming court hearing date or
we once you do it, if you, I guess you filled this variation form, they get you in there within like a week or two. They don't take long for that.
okay?
Oh yeah, that's different than the states. You waiting a whole month here.
Yeah, or
And
more.
Yeah, or
three,
more.
4 years, going on 4 years now, right?
Yeah, it's a long battle. So what? Before we get up out of here, what was the toughest part of this battle for you? Like, what was the toughest thing that you have to actually go through?
Not being there for my kids and trying to prove to white people that I'm trying to be there for my kids. Like, I paid out of pocket for my lawyer privately. I didn't even have the money. That was my savings. I gave it all to him. I'm broke. You
It
know,
will bankrupt you.
I'm gonna build it
You
back.
can't do that.
I'm gonna build it back. I know that
Yeah,
because that's
most
because
definitely.
I got that heart. I'm humble. But
Absolutely.
you know, when they're telling me, "Oh, well, you ain't did nothing for your kids in 3 years," I pointed to the lawyer. I said, "There's where the money's going right there. Don't tell me I ain't doing nothing for them. This is what I'm doing for them."
Mm-hmm.
Next question, please. That's yeah. You have nothing. Really have nothing to say to that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Well,
give her cash. She's saying
yeah.
I'm not giving her none.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that, the child support part of things. How I guess in the mediation, you guys will figure that part out as well. But
I'm gonna
do
go
you?
back. They have a $500. I'm supposed to be paying $500 for the past year. I haven't paid yet because I'm like, why would I be paying for kids I ain't got? They're, they're like, well, it's because it's written down. I said, well, do you pay for a house and you can't live in it? It doesn't make sense, right? You don't pay.
And you're not even sure. I mean, you feel in your heart that that's your daughter, but like legally, that's not even your daughter.
Are you afraid to find out?
No, if it ain't, then
But you know, once you get her, you can always take her to a paternity testing
I'll
center.
take. I'll do it myself.
Yeah,
So
if
So
them,
you really want to know,
yeah,
just to be sure. I know you love her. I know that's your
yeah,
baby. It
yeah,
probably won't change anything, but you
no,
know, you just gotta have that peace of mind for
yeah.
yourself. Well, we thank you for coming up,
I
sharing your
appreciate.
story
yeah,
with us, your
Appreciate it.
transparency. Keep us posted and updated with your case because we want to know. We always want to follow up on update because that just shows the fight. It shows the
Yep,
journey. It shows what this is about. This is not a game. We don't do
yep.
this for fun, for
And it
likes or
ain't just for men
reviews.
either. So just so your people know, it ain't just for men. It's just girls.
nah.
Just
Absolutely not.
Yes, women can
We
definitely
know.
get alienated
We
parental.
know that the difference is, and we preach this as well. When women are alienated, it's a different type of fight for them because it's typically after a divorce or after they've already pretty much lost custody in some kind of way.
Yeah.
So their fight is totally different than when a
Yeah.
man, is just ripped out of his kid's life for no apparent reason at all. It's
Yeah.
just a different kind of process. But we advocate for parents, not
Yeah.
just dads. A lot of people think
Yeah.
that we're pro dad. We hear that a lot. No, the reality is it just happens to dads
More
more
often. Yeah.
More
than
often, yeah.
moms. So that's all. But
No, I appreciate y'all for even having me.
No, we appreciate you, man, and
thank you so much.
keep fighting, man. Keep doing your thing, man. I'm
Sure.
proud of you. You don't hear this from men every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
'cause-
it's like a woke experience for me, like just get it out there and
Yeah.
let it
Seems
out.
like
Let
you
it.
in a good space, man. It
Yeah.
seems like your team, they got it together. What I'm saying, the keys that you hit is the reason why we have custody of my 2 kids now. So stick with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
that they'll end up where they belong, and like we spoke about it, you know what energy you bring, and you know what
Bygones be
type of father
bygones.
you are. Yep.
You
Yeah.
know, my son
All
don't
right.
ask me, I'm not gonna tell him. So
All right. Well, have a good night, man.
Thank you so much.
thank you,
Appreciate
appreciate it. You guys have a good one.
All right.
Bye.